Welcome back to Plants Not Plastic. I'm Nikita, and today we're making a warm and delicious one-pot potato soup. This soup is easy to make, requires just the one pot and a bit of chopping, and is made up of just a few pantry staples and some basic veggies. It's filling and great for cold winter days. So here's everything you'll need to make this recipe. I'll also leave everything in the description box below, along with a link to the blog post and some inviting photos and a printable recipe card. Now, when I say easy, well, not that easy, but pretty easy, I promise. As always, we'll start with the veggie prep. Slicing our celery, chopping our carrots, dicing our onion, and mincing our garlic. We'll then rough chop our potatoes and place them in a bowl of water to prevent them from oxidizing. Also, since we do use a little bit of flour in this recipe, you can blend up some rolled oats for oat flour as a gluten-free option. To make your soup, sauté your onion, garlic, celery, and carrots in a large pot over medium to medium-high heat until the onions are translucent but not sticking, about 3 to 5 minutes. During this time, I measure out my vegetable broth, plant milk, and spices. Nutritional yeast, bay leaf, thyme, parsley, and paprika. Once the onions are translucent, add your seasonings, cooking them down for a minute before adding your oat flour and cooking for an additional 1 to 2 minutes. By this point, you should have a decent amount of browning on the bottom of the pan and can deglaze with your vegetable broth and plant milk. Add your potatoes, season with pepper to taste, mix everything together, and bring it to a high heat. Once it reaches a boil, stir it one more time and then reduce to a simmer and cook for 12 to 15 minutes or until your potatoes are cooked through and can be broken apart with a fork. At this point, the soup is done, but there are a few options when it comes to texture. If you want your stew chunky, serve it as is. If you want it smooth, throw it in a blender and blend it on high. I personally prefer something in between and will either blend half the soup or mash it straight in the pot with a potato masher. In all honesty, this was my first time trying with a masher, and while it wins in terms of convenience and truly making this a one-pot recipe, my favorite texture is the half-blended and half-untouched option. I add salt at the table and garnish my soup with thinly sliced green onion to bring some freshness back into the recipe, but you can also top with toasted coconut to stick with a whole food option, or vegan bacon bits, sour cream, or yogurt for something more rich. This soup really hits the spot in winter. With potatoes as the base and no oil or calorie-dense ingredients, it's filling without being heavy, and with a simple mix of veggies and spices, it's well-balanced, mild, and will warm you right up on a cold day. It also makes a decent batch, so it's great for weekly meal planning, and stores great as leftovers in the fridge or freezer. For how it stacks up against an alternative, I'm not going to do a breakdown for the sake of time, but you can check out the full nutrition label on the blog that links out to Chronometer. This recipe, though, is going to be just like my others. When comparing it to a non-vegan or a vegan option with processed or specialty ingredients, it will very likely cost you less to make, have more fiber, and you'll get to eat more of it for the same number of calories. So that's it for today's recipe. If you try it out, let me know in the comments. You can also subscribe to my blog for recipes right to your inbox and connect with me on social media for day-to-day content. Also, if you have a suggestion for a recipe you'd like to see from me, let me know. I am always looking for new ideas. And don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, give this video a thumbs up, and come back next time. Bye!